I think it's fair to say that no one can stand the star of this movie.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged. I truly do believe that.
A huge blow just hit Disney that has executives locked in emergency meetings. South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone launched a brutal takedown of the Snow White remake that's exploding across social media. Their harsh comedy bit threatens to sink Disney's $200+ million movie. With inside sources saying the lead actress is furious, Disney's PR team is scrambling, and South Park is already working on an even bigger special about Hollywood's remake obsession.
They're remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs, okay?
Okay, but what do they call them?
Why would they get rid of the dwarves, though?
Magical creatures.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erased that whole image.
Entertainment reporters call this a perfect storm disaster that's grown too big to control, shocking everyone from studio bosses to the movie's stars. The trouble started when Disney announced their choice for Snow White. The actress became famous for her role in a musical movie, but soon faced criticism after interviews where she talked about changing the classic fairy tale. Instead of praising the groundbreaking 1937 cartoon that helped build Disney's success, she suggested major changes to the story, like cutting out the prince completely and turning it into a story about leadership. These comments upset many Disney fans who see the original movie as a treasured classic. Social media exploded with debates as longtime fans were angry about what seemed like disrespect toward a movie that shaped so many childhoods. The backlash wasn't just about updating the story for today's world. Most people understand some changes are needed, but about her seeming dismissal of a film that means so much to generations of viewers.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
Behind the scenes, things have reportedly gotten much worse. Several industry insiders claim there's growing tension between the lead actress and her famous co-star who plays the evil queen. Their working relationship has supposedly gotten so bad that crew members have been told to keep them on separate schedules whenever possible. According to someone who works on the production team, the problem started when the lead actress complained about her co-star's performance, specifically claiming the evil queen actress was stealing scenes with unscripted lines that drew attention away from Snow White. This growing conflict supposedly led to expensive reshoots for several important scenes, an unusual step for a movie already dealing with budget concerns. A production coordinator described how filming schedules had to be completely reorganized to allow the actresses to film separately, adding millions to the already huge budget.
This is someone who is as entitled as, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it, you didn't direct it, you have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up and do the
What started as disagreements about the characters has apparently turned into real personal dislike, noted a producer with connections to Disney's leadership. Disney's response to this crisis has shocked people in the entertainment industry. In an unusual move, the studio has quietly canceled many promotional appearances for their lead actress. A planned hosting spot on a popular sketch comedy show? Suddenly gone. Scheduled interviews on major talk shows mysteriously disappeared. Even a musical event planned for Disney World featuring songs from the film? Silently removed from the calendar without explanation. While Disney officially claims these changes are due to scheduling conflicts, people inside the company tell a different story. According to a marketing director involved in planning the campaign, top executives are in panic mode, worried that unscripted live appearances might lead to more controversial statements.
I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Perhaps most telling is Disney's failure to publicly defend their lead actress during all this criticism. This apparent abandonment has reportedly created serious tension between the studio and the actress's powerful talent agency, with legal action being considered. The situation exploded when South Park released their trademark brutal comedy targeting the controversy. Their sketch featured a character clearly meant to be the lead actress rejecting the original Snow White while pompously declaring that the new version existed to fix problematic storytelling rather than honoring a beloved classic. One particularly brutal scene showed the Snow White character having a complete meltdown after learning the evil queen was getting better reactions in test screenings. The impact of this comedy takedown was catastrophic for the film's already troubled public image. Within hours of the episode airing, social media exploded with reactions. TikTok users quickly made side-by-side videos comparing actual interview clips with the animated parody. Twitter analytics showed hashtags like hashtag Snow White Disaster and hashtag Princess Meltdown trending across many regions.
There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings. I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow White.
What makes South Park's parody so devastating is their credibility when calling out Hollywood hypocrisy, explained a media professor. When Parker and Stone target someone, their portrayal often becomes how millions of people view that person. Several entertainment journalists report the actress was blindsided by the intensity of the parody. "She's devastated," revealed someone close to her. Being mocked by South Park is a particular kind of public humiliation that's almost impossible to counter effectively. The timing couldn't be worse for Disney's leadership team, who are already dealing with multiple problems across their entertainment business. With recent movies performing below expectations, their streaming service losing subscribers, and theme park attendance dropping, this Snow White disaster adds yet another crisis demanding immediate attention. The controversy has reportedly brought Disney's former CEO back from retirement to personally oversee crisis management, showing just how serious the situation is considered. For the lead actress, industry veterans suggest this controversy represents a critical turning point that could have long-lasting effects on her career.
I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
Casting directors, producers, and studio executives across Hollywood are closely watching how she handles this period of intense criticism and backlash. The entertainment industry pays very close attention to how actors deal with these kinds of public relations storms, explained a casting director. What often matters most isn't the controversy itself, but how the person responds. Several publicists suggest the actress's current forced silence may ultimately hurt her. The story is being defined entirely by others, without her perspective being heard, noted a crisis communications expert. While Disney's instinct to prevent more controversial statements is understandable, the strategy potentially sacrifices the actress's long-term reputation to protect the immediate project. This controversy raises important questions about balancing classic stories with modern updates. "We're seeing a clash between two very different views on cultural heritage," explained a film historian. One view prioritizes modernization above all else, seeing original stories as just starting points that can be completely changed. The opposing view sees these pioneering works as important cultural landmarks whose core elements deserve respect.
I know this point has been made, but this truly is the worst casting maybe in the history of the film industry.
The situation looks set to get worse as multiple sources confirm South Park creators are developing a much bigger critique focused on Hollywood's remake trend, with the Snow White controversy as the main example. This expanded comedy special, reportedly called their DEI special, is apparently positioned as a sequel to their controversial Panderverse episode. The special is supposedly scheduled to air about 6 weeks before Snow White's planned release, exactly during the critical period when Disney would normally be ramping up their marketing push. This looming comedy attack has reportedly prompted serious discussions within Disney about possibly changing the release date. An extraordinary step given the huge financial implications. Financial analysts estimate potential losses exceeding $80 million if significant release changes become necessary, with particular concerns surrounding holiday merchandise agreements already in production. For Disney, this crisis forces them to rethink their entire approach to remaking animated classics. The entertainment giant that built its global empire on beloved animated storytelling now faces evidence that transforming these culturally significant stories carries substantial risks beyond just financial concerns. Several entertainment analysts suggest this controversy will force Disney to fundamentally reconsider their remake approach moving forward, potentially prioritizing faithful adaptation rather than wholesale reimagining. The ultimate outcome remains uncertain as this volatile situation continues developing across multiple fronts.
You ever wonder what happens when you mix hot lava and chicken?
South Park creators are reportedly accelerating production on their expanded comedy examination. The lead actress's legal team continues exploring potential contractual remedies. and Disney's executive leadership remains locked in intensive crisis planning sessions, desperately trying to salvage a production representing hundreds of millions in investment. This situation goes beyond standard industry talk, touching on fundamental questions about cultural ownership, artistic legacy, and storytelling responsibility across generations. Is modernizing cherished stories necessary evolution to maintain relevance? Or does radical change risk breaking crucial emotional connections that define these stories' lasting appeal? Has the lead actress faced unfair criticism for simply expressing a progressive artistic vision? Or did her comments truly show disrespect toward cultural heritage loved by millions? So, what do you think? Is Disney right to panic over South Park's takedown? Should classics remain untouched or get complete makeovers? And who's really to blame in this Hollywood showdown? The actress, Disney executives, or South Park's merciless comedy? Drop your hottest takes in the comments below. I'll be jumping in to chat with you. If you enjoyed this insider breakdown, smash that like button to help more people discover what's really happening behind Disney's closed doors. Hit subscribe and that notification bell if you want to be first to know when I drop my next exclusive on this unfolding drama. Trust me, this Snow White disaster is far from over. Until next time.